So what about the TV show The Chosen? How real is it? Hey guys, it's John. I am back here to talk to you about the TV show The Chosen. I find it an interesting experience that I often get a lot of questions at the same time, and I seem to be getting a lot of questions about The Chosen lately. So I thought I'd hop on and talk about The Chosen because people are always asking me if I've seen it, what are my thoughts on it, was it like that? My thoughts on it come down to a couple different interesting things. I have not seen all of the episodes. In fact, I can't watch all of the episodes. And it's not because of an emotional reaction to it. It's because it doesn't ring true to me. The reason it doesn't ring true to me is because they very much lean into the Messiah teachings. He's this huge, larger-than-life mystical character. What I do find interesting is some of the scenes, and particularly for me, the scene where he meets John. That to me is very interesting. Why is it interesting to me? Because my regression is in 1999, and that scene was on the shore next to the boats, and that's the way they shot it in The Chosen. But the scene doesn't match what I saw, but it very much had the shore, it had the beach, and had the boats and all of that. So it was very much in the right place. The way it worked out was that they really kind of had this thing of Yeshua just kind of walking up and talking to them who were sitting there working on the boats. And that's not the way it was at all in my regression. My regression, people were running down the beach to see him because they had been hearing about him. He had become word of mouth famous. When I watched the show, first of all, from a biblical historical perspective, there's a lot of very interesting things in there that would in no way match historical reality. The Romans were more oppressive than you think they are, than the show puts them out to be. And so when you look at the perspective of The Chosen, it's coming from a theatrical standpoint. They're trying to tell a good story. And they are taking liberties and licenses with the story. And they're adding dialogue. And people are so drawn into stories that they begin to think they're real. And I just saw a movie last night with my son called Gran Turismo. It's a gamer movie. Well, as I watched the movie, I was really drawn into the story of it. Now, I'm not a gamer. I'm not somebody who ever got into driving games or any of those kind of things. It's just not my thing. But I got drawn into the story. And then at the end, they showed pictures of the real guy because it was based on a true story. And then they showed that the guy who the movie was made about actually played his own stunt double in the movie, right, which was kind of interesting. When you look at the aspect of film or TV, we are naturally drawn into stories. It's why Yeshua taught in parables. We were drawn into stories. But for a film or a TV show, they have to take licenses to draw you in. And there's a lot of licenses taken in The Chosen that are based upon absolute Judeo-Christian beliefs. And I say that very specifically, Judeo-Christian beliefs, from the messianic beliefs of the Judaic culture. So they're very much playing into him being the Messiah. If I was to say anything, I would say to you this. Yeshua was a man, and he was a man who spoke wisdom, and he was a man who was able to talk people into believing things, and that's how he would heal. And then the more he did that, the more people found healing around him through taking their belief, people began to believe it was him. But it wasn't really him. He was just helping them find belief. The perspective of him being the Messiah, him being a supernatural mystical being, is just not accurate. And so I watched that show and I see beautiful imagery and I see the workings of a theatrical production to draw people in. And when I watch it from the perspective of drama, I think in many cases they over-dramatize the Messiah portion of it. So to me, I don't have any interest in it because what I've watched of it really is not telling the story that I believe or I know. I look at it from the perspective of this is just Judeo-Christian storytelling put on film for people to follow. And I think it's interesting. Do I think it's accurate? No, I don't. Do I think it's who he was? Absolutely don't believe it. Do I like some of the imagery in there? Yeah, I actually do. I like the fact that he was, found John on a beach. But it didn't match the way he was treated. It didn't match the way he was delivering his message. And quite once again, no choirs sang and no orchestra tuned up as he entered the room, which film work does that for you. They play with your emotions with the music. So which is what the job is of a theatrical production, is to work through your emotions, to draw you on an emotional adventure. And they're doing it very well for a lot of people. But people will say, was it like that? Was it exactly like that? How real is it? I get those questions all the time. And it just doesn't ring true to me. And interesting little scenes because they're in the places where things happen, but it doesn't really work for me personally. Thank you very much. I hope this answers the questions that have been being asked about The Chosen. And I will talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.